Hello and welcome to the Pixel Scandal Nerdcast, episode 56. I'm Kurt.
Nightson.
Oh, somebody didn't take Handor out of the dock. Oreztes.
Gigett, you're next.
No, I'm last.
No, you're not!
It says
You
Enzo and then Gigett.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
You are the filling in the Oreo right now between Oreztes and I, so
All right, fine. I'm Gigett.
I am end of line.
I don't think we've ever used placement in the cells as any manner of.
Oh, I thought we did.
That is true.
It's always use that. That's what we use.
No, we use the... Anyway. All right. So today's spotlight topic is going to be on nostalgia. But before we get to that, Nightson, do we have any announcements?
All right, we have two. One of which is our next SIP game for Paper Scandal, which is in the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition, or SWADE. Will be July 9th. So will not be this Tuesday, but will be the following Tuesday. And we will continue our adventures and dealing with a horrible, horrible event that our GM Gigett here threw at us shortly before the game ended.
Mm-hmm.
I won't go into it here, but fuck you.
I felt like it was an important step we needed to take in the game. If you have not seen episode 3, you should definitely go watch it on YouTube and see what Nightson is talking about.
Yeah, it's a continuing saga of a long line or a long string of Gigett murdering a particular age group of people. I'm just saying.
I'm known for certain things, so it's got to be consistent.
And then next is we're coming back and doing side quest again. We took a month off for June, to facilitate a certain somebody's move. But the next one will be run by Kimmy from Happy Jacks. I don't know if we have the name of the game yet, but that will be on July 27th at 9 a.m. PST.
We only just found out about that like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, literally just came through like hot off the press.
We did
locked in that date.
To be fair,
heard wonderful things about laser ponies. I would like to request laser pony.
To be fair, the cast has previously asked for them to seek out Kimmy for a game, so we're excited about that.
Kimmy is amazing.
Kimmy, I had reached out to her earlier, and she was like, school year.
Well, yeah.
And then, and so we finally were able to okay, school year's over, take a deep breath. It's been a few weeks, so now she's able to actually think about summertime and time off. And so thankfully she's available in July, and we'll get to do that.
All right.
Yay.
Well, amazing.
Well, awesome. So what is everybody excited about?
Oh, I have the first one. Y'all, Demigods is nigh. On July 9th, the Kickstarter goes live for Demigods PBTA, Jason Mills PBTA hack about demigods, and you're the children of deities, and it has one of the coolest cosmologies of any game that I've been a part of. It's my favorite way to think about deities, which is that human faith and belief creates said deities, and so everything is true all at once. You end up with there's 12 sun gods, and some are pushing it, and some are the sun, and some are walking around circling it, and they're all true at once, and they're just let's do this, right? But the Kickstarter goes live July 9th. I will be backing it, of course. I've played that game quite a bit. You can see us play that game where Oreztes tries to break the game and does not succeed.
I didn't try to break the game. I tried to break the storyteller. It was a different thing.
And I feel that he definitely got some points in that register.
You definitely pushed the envelope. So if you want to see that, you can go back and watch our past side quests of Demigods. But if you're curious about the game, you can go sign up for their newsletter at demigodspbta.com, I believe, or .net or something like that. And I'll put it in the show notes and in the chat. But you can go find it, and the quick start is available, so you can get the quick start rules now. With
it's ridiculous
cool
fun.
art.
Emphasis on ridiculous.
when Kurt and I back Kickstarters that we both really want, we have to like play rock paper scissors. Who gets to be the one to actually like click the back it button? And I feel this is going to be one of those like arm wrestle moments where we get to decide who actually gets to be the backer for it.
So if you're both going to back it, do you both just add your lower level tier together and just get the higher tier?
Typically, yeah. We just were like, well, we both were going to spend $30 dues, so let's spend $60 dues, and then we get the better of the thing.
Because that's how family finance works.
Yeah.
We do normally argue over who's going to get to put their name in the thanks column.
Yeah.
I recently had to fill out my backer kit survey for Malice.
Oh, that was an easy decision, though.
And the thanks goes to Alessandro's Confession.
Why don't you just change your display name on your Kickstarter, first name the, last name Potses?
That would work.
We'll just start putting Bay Pots on everything.
Yeah, Bay Pots.
But that was, I think, my favorite thing is Kurt was like, should I put my name? Should I put both of our names? Should I put this? And I'm like, I mean, there's really only one name that can go in the thank yous for Malice, and that's Alejandro's Confession. So, or Alessandro's Confession. Anyway, whatever it is.
There's some contention between the band members over which it is.
It's actually why they broke up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they broke up over the name. One wanted Alejandro, the other one kept putting Alessandro on all the images they put on Facebook, so you know where.
Getting called out, Dave. So, end of line. What are you excited about?
I put stuff, but I don't remember what stuff I put.
Well, first off,
Scrolls?
yeah, ESO.
Yeah, we
talked about playing ESO for all of 3 minutes.
No, it was longer than
while we were waiting to get into Final Fantasy Q.
So we're all playing Final Fantasy 14, right? We're playing the new expansion, and we're having a great time. But we have chatted about this probably 4 or 5 times over the last couple of years. And that was going back and kind of checking out Elder Scrolls Online, since it's had a lot of time to develop since we had initially played it in the beta. And we kind of didn't hate it, but kind of didn't love it. I guess is how I would define our relationship with that game.
Good, not great.
Yeah, good, not great. But apparently, and some friends of the cast, a friend of the cast, Rando and Handor, have played it extensively and had a ton of fun with it. And then the game has kind of gotten better and better over time. So we just kind of got in the conversation that eventually, once Final Fantasy XIV has, gone back to the casual play and we're just having fun with it and ready to kind of try our hand at something else to kind of kill some time before WoW Classic for, I think, just me. I think Gigett, Kurt, and I are the only ones that are going to be playing that besides in Handor. But anyway, something to go back to and have some fun with. So we thought maybe we'll try Elder Scrolls Online. So anyway, did some research on that, and it looks really super freaking interesting. Actually looks like a lot of fun.
Well, what I was saying yesterday is one of the things that's kind of inspiring me to check it out is I really am like hankering for another Elder Scrolls or a Bethesda game. With Fallout 76 being a complete tire fire.
Sure.
And
I would like to play a Bethesda game that Bethesda has nothing to do with.
Technically, this is ZeniMax.
Now. Yeah, but it's inspired by, so it's going to have that kind of feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I watched a streamer play it while I was doing my main story quest in Final Fantasy yesterday. I was watching someone stream the game that was leveling, and it is straight up Elder Scrolls. Like, you can't even tell the difference. It's just Elder Scrolls with other people around that you can do things with if you want to. And dungeons, which don't technically exist in Elder Scrolls. But if you're playing it as a single player, which is what this girl I was watching playing through it, I would not even have I would have never known that it was an online game until she actually got to a point in the campaign where she needed to do a dungeon. And then all of a sudden it became a multiplayer game. Final Fantasy is very similar in that regard, though. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like... But it felt, in regards to just the Elder Scrolls Online, I couldn't tell it wasn't Skyrim. I couldn't tell it wasn't Oblivion. It could have been, and I would never have known the freaking difference.
Neat.
Yeah. And for you, Nightson, you always like classless systems, and it's totally that. It's totally a classless system. You do whatever the hell you want. You want a blood magic siphon / healer tank? Sure. Sork tank? Whatever. You could totally build that, apparently. It's nuts. So anyway.
Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. What is Doom?
Oh, Doom Eternal's coming out. That's a pretty short one. I'm really excited for the game. I don't think any of us, anyone besides me, has played the Doom remake that they had a few years ago, but it was absolutely incredible. It's probably the best FPS campaign shooter I've played since Half-Life 2. And I had the exact same feeling when I finished Doom, the original, the Doom remake, as I did with Half-Life 2. The story mode, was the combat, the story, like everything was just that much fun. And I'm hoping that they're able to execute Doom Eternal in the same way.
Now, one crazy thing they're doing, and I'm not sure, I'd only heard about this, but aren't they having it so that when you're playing through the single-player game, multiplayer, like other players will join in your game and be the monsters and shoot you?
That is completely true. In fact, entire squads of friends can jump into your game and become the enemies, and then cooperate to try and kill you in your first-player campaign. In your
Okay, that sounds
single-player
amazing.
campaign. Yes,
That
and you
sounds
can.
like I'm unplugging my Ethernet
Well,
cable.
you can turn it off and on. You can turn it off in your campaign. It's completely toggleable for the player. But yes, you can get some friends together, join in someone's game, become the creatures, and collaborate together to try and kill the player in their campaign.
But that is just such an interesting
Brilliant
difficulty slider. Because, you know, a
Yeah,
computer opponent can only be so good.
sure.
But then you add in the human element of let's shoot people. And
Well, and tactically,
Yeah.
doing that would be interesting too.
It's genius, though. I'm
Yeah.
I'm super excited about that feature.
I feel like it's just a weird inverse of Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
There's like 4 killers and 1 survivor, but the survivor's got a BFG.
EverQuest. I'm gonna tout some EverQuest here for just a second. EverQuest is actually the first game that did this. They created a system called Shroud. It failed miserably.
Oh no.
I mean, in a game where you lose experience, like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, but yeah, you could play the creatures and like, you could play like a rat at level 5 and go and like become the rat. Like, it was just really weird, but it fell in its face. So I'm glad to see that there's a resurgence of this kind of ideology of letting multiplayer against one player, but you're playing the NPCs. I think
Right.
it's super interesting, and I hope this works out and it becomes a thing that other companies start thinking about.
well, it's a creative way to leverage the always online model that we're going. Like, bandwidth is so high nowadays that you can really start to use it for these kind of things.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, the thing I'm excited about, one of two things. We moved, and we're done with the moving. So we're in the new house. I'm so excited. I'm so tired. We've been in the new house for 1 full week. That's why it's still echoey.
A forever house. That's the thing.
Forever house.
This is not we moved into a new rental. They actually have a house now.
Yes, it's our
theirs.
forever home. So hopefully we can get the echoiness under control in the next couple of weeks so that we're not whispering through podcasts and RPGs. But yes, it's wonderful to finally to know that all of my crap is here and I'm not still moving back and forth between the old house and this house is such a great feeling. So
For sure.
Today I did a bunch of unpacking, and I unpacked all of our board games, at least as many as I could find. And I completely filled our dining room table all the way up to the chandelier, pretty much all the way across.
yeah.
So just add some mortar and
Yeah.
Yep.
We are a brick and mortar. Yeah. I don't know that we have enough to open a game store yet, but we're definitely on the right track.
Yeah. I know Kurt asked me earlier how many board games is too many board games, and I said never. There is never. You can never
All the
have.
more.
You can
Well-
never have too many board games.
Y'all are officially, I mean, you're collectors to a degree
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, we have a lot, and I'm hoping if we put some bookshelves up in here and put those on the walls, that'll help with some of the echo.
Yeah.
So that's
Fill up that
that's
whole
the
back
plan.
area with,
Yeah.
which, on the topic of board games, I actually finally read the rules for Spirit Island.
Oh, nice.
It is very cool, and we should definitely check it out.
We should wait. We should wait until
'Cause there's
we're ready for
exciting things happening.
Yeah, we should
Yes.
save that one, and that could maybe be the first game we play if it's really good.
Yes,
Yeah.
because new house comes with lots more space, which equals an actual production room. So
I
we're very
think we
excited.
announced that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
we
working
did.
on
Our-
our goals for this year.
Tabletop
Yeah, so
actual
stay tuned
plays.
for Pixel Scandal Board Games presents Kurt Rages at Kingdom Death.
Which is
Watch
so
Kurt
exciting.
flip a heavy ass table.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Uh.
If we play Kingdom Death with Kurt, we have to play Tannhauser with the retro rules with Oreztes.
Oh God.
Yes.
We're gonna play. Can they
just-
flip it?
They just moved into their house. Why do you want to burn it down so soon?
Well, the trick is we need to add, like, when we get that table installed, we add a hydraulic flipping machine.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You just push the button.
You're just
and
like,
it's just
nope.
like, zoom. So
It just like launches the game out the window.
An ejection seat for bad board
Okay, I'm
games.
outside. Just wait. Just goes into a
well, that was a ragey board game. What's up next on the docket, guys? Well, awesome. So the other thing I'm very excited about is we are what 5 days away from the 4th of July. And so, as you know, we talked about last year, I am a pyrotechnician, and so I've got a giant fireworks show that I do on the 4th of July, and all of my prep is done, which I'm very excited about. I did it all before we moved. Like
Nice.
I did all of it knowing that I would probably lose things in the move, and so I pre-prepped everything, and I'm 5 days out, and I'm not stressing, which is amazing. So yay, 4th of
Don't
July
worry,
and
you'll be able to
fireworks.
find it between now and then.
Yeah, the stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm totally
for sure.
looking forward to watching all you guys work.
Are you gonna come with him? Are you gonna come out and watch?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
sweet. Okay.
he's gonna work, but I'm gonna watch. He's got
Nice.
he's taking it seriously. He found a hat, helmet, and we got
Okay.
him some goggles and some gloves. He's ready to go. He's
Awesome.
excited.
Nice. That's exciting.
He had fun.
Well, cool. All right. Well, let's talk about what we played recently. Kurt, you are up first.
Sure. So I got to play D&D yesterday. I've been playing Dungeon of the Mad Mage with Christopher Gray and Abria and Jason Mills and Gene. That is probably one of the most fun D&D games that I've played. I've played a lot of D&D over the years, and it's making me want to play more D&D. And so, Nightson, it might be time to revamp that before you can.
Yeah.
I offered.
Yeah.
I was just said that once you guys get
Yes.
situated.
Yes, I love that game. I love the character I play in that game.
But yeah, I'm playing this sexy little murder gnome who is not supposed to be a murder hobo, but I straight up murdered somebody. And next session, I need to feel bad about it. So looking forward to that.
You just lean into it. It becomes easier.
Yeah.
Well, she's supposed to be like, love and beauty and that kind of thing. And,
Hey, so's Roxy, but
Somebody
Roxy
was
embraced the
between
murder a
her and-
long time ago.
somebody got between her and an objective, and she's got a hot poker that she just
Poked.
solved that problem with.
All
She's
right.
got a rapier and she can put fire. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And I apparently have been playing a ton of Magic the Gathering Arena because I'm trying to grind my way to Platinum before the month goes, because I'm at Gold 1, so I want to kick over into Platinum to get the better rewards.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. He's been playing a lot of that.
Mm-hmm. It's fun. I got a nice wizard deck. All the wizards.
Yep. Well, cool. Who's been playing Dauntless?
So we, while we were waiting for the expansion to come out, we ended up reinstalling Dauntless and played that a couple nights last week. They really cleaned it up, I will say. A lot of our complaints about it being buggy and laggy and disconnecty have been mostly resolved. The grindiness is still there, but it's muted some. But I was having fun with it. I'll probably go back to it once Final Fantasy kind of calms down a bit.
Yeah.
Cool.
For sure. It
I
was
was
fun.
having fun with it too. It felt good to me.
Yeah. And
For
then
those who aren't familiar, it's basically free Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
it's like a cross
cell
between
shading.
Fortnite and Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
It's cell shaded
The
artwork,
best
but the
part about
artwork's
it, though-
beautiful too.
And the best part about it is when you install it, we got to link it up with our beta clients and inherit all of our gear and stuff from the beta. And I probably shouldn't say this on stream, but I'm pretty sure they don't watch. All of my exploited cheat engine gear came with me. So, so I have tons of parts I could build, all the
Nice.
good monster sets, but I'm not because that would be wrong.
And we know that Oreztes never breaks the rules.
No, I don't. I'm a good boy.
They may or may not have had a lot of their memory open and available to be modified directly.
Yeah,
I believe it's been fixed,
Well,
but
I'm
it
sure
was
it has.
pretty bad before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I mean, this brings us to what you guys have really been playing the last 3 days. Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Shadowbringers. It's great. It's awesome. Nightson and End of Line have been leveling from 60. They're gunbreakers and dancers and
God.
whatnot.
So that was miserable.
Yeah.
Absolutely miserable. Grinding 10 levels in probably like 16 hours of dungeon grinding.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so they're feeling a little burnout. I just started at 70 with my scholar, and I'm right at the end of the story now, and the last few quests have been amazing, and you guys need to get on it.
Nice. That's
The
awesome.
story is so cool. Yeah.
Very
And
cool.
we can do a whole episode about scholars and how to make them better and changes and everything, but that's for another time.
You don't want to spend the rest of the half hour here talking about how to make scholars cool?
No, nah, it's, my number one request would be please give us energy drain back. That would be number one. That's it. I need some mechanic to let me spend my ether flow stacks that doesn't result in overhealing, and that's it. That's my primary concern.
Cool.
But yeah, it's great, super fun. I like it. Having a lot of fun with it. I don't know about
Nice.
these guys.
I enjoying.
I am
Cool.
enjoying, but my only gripe with it is, and I've extensively complained about it today, but it's just the main story quest it's literally just a movie. It is a movie after movie after movie after movie with very non-existent gameplay. There's a ton of gameplay in the game. It's just, if you're going through the main story quest, it's just a movie, walk to a movie, walk to a movie, walk to a movie. The movie's great, movie's interesting, story's incredible. They never fail in that regard. Like, that's what Square is known for. So, like, it's fantastic. It's just, I would like a little more playing of the game and a little less watching of the game. Or at least some
Gotcha.
playing of the game interspersed with the watching of the game if you're just doing the main story quest. So I think that would be better for me. But
Yeah.
I think I'm in the minority, but that's my only
I
gripe.
think I would be that way too. Like, I really enjoy the stories when I'm playing through an MMO.
M&Ms?
Yeah, M&Ms when I'm playing through an MMO. But if there's too many cutscenes, I get bored really quickly.
I like my eyes gloss over. After a
Yeah,
while.
and then I end up missing a lot of the story because I'm not really paying attention because there's too much cutscene.
On the flip side, the zones are probably, in my opinion, aesthetically the best they've ever done. I wasn't really a big fan of the last expansion as far as the aesthetic. I've never been really super excited about the Japanese kind of stuff. This is much more within my realm of what I like. The dungeon, the one dungeon I have done was mind-blowingly good and beautiful.
Dude, you're gonna shit yourself over dungeon.
I'm
As
excited.
soon as you walk in, it's like, welcome to my mead garden.
It's literally what I was thinking the whole time.
And Dancer is absolutely incredible. It's exactly what I was hoping it would be. So it could not have executed more what I was hopeful for. It's fun for me. It's my kind of game style. So yeah, it's good. It's a good expansion for sure.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, cool.
right.
Let's move into our spotlight topic. It is on nostalgia. So, Nightson, why don't you take it away?
So, one thing that really kind of stuck with me on like the road to E3 this year was how much of our gaming is very based in nostalgia. How much of these things have been coming up, and it's something we're used to in other forms of media. Movies and TV shows are constantly getting rebooted or remade or whatnot, but flat out remakes of games is still kind of new. And then also
Sure.
trading on nostalgia is kind of a relatively new concept. Like, with the WoW Classic launch, and I knew you guys were really excited about that. But that is literally just, hey, remember how you liked a game that was 12 years ago?
Yeah.
Do you want to play?
Again.
Yeah, you want to play it again?
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, do you want to play the game as it was then, but we'll make it better? No. You want to play it,
With all the problems.
all the problems that were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It is by definition niche.
Yeah. But it's funny how many games do that. Like, there's games that I can go back and play that are terrible because they were the games that I loved when I was a kid. Like, nostalgia goggles really kick in hard.
Mm-hmm.
Can inform a lot of what you think is good.
I'm like that about Mario games. Like every time they release a new Mario game, I'm like, gotta buy it, gotta play it all the way through. And it's because it's Mario and it's nostalgia.
Yeah. I know, Endo, you've been pretty excited about Pantheon, which is kind of a similar note.
Yeah, I mean, it's as close to reboot as you can get without being able to get the IP. Like, without being able to get the intellectual... You're like, hey, I want to reboot EverQuest, but I cannot afford this IP, nor would... I mean, there's still a billion people playing EverQuest, but there's a billion EverQuest people who are clamoring for a re-envisioning of EverQuest that just didn't become EverQuest 2. That is Pantheon. Yeah. It's not technically a reboot, I guess, but I think spiritually, people are calling it that, sure.
But even
It's
still,
it's playing on that nostalgia factor.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The systems are still
definitely.
the older system that if you sat down an 18-year-old and said, hey, here's this game where, hey, if you die, you have to run back and get your corpse. And when you die, you lose experience. Oh, and it's an MMO where your death may be responsible for your whole party doing. Like, just those kinds of things, people be like, yeah, you can probably go fuck yourself. I'm not playing that. Like, why would anyone play that? That's, oh my god, that sounds terrible. And to be fair, they wouldn't be wrong. But people like me who love that kind of gameplay, love that kind of old system, will play it. And fortunately, there's enough of me's out there to fund a game like that. So
Right.
yeah, go us.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's actually...
yeah, I understand why
That's
someone would
actually
hate
an
it though.
Yeah. That is an interesting thing, though. Now that, we're 20 years later, and the kids and teenagers who played these games now have the money to make financial decisions to get their nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Bring things that might not have been fiscally possible without their help.
For sure.
Kickstarter's a great example of this, where you literally, it's like, hey, this thing that you loved, would you like a different flavor of it? Slightly different flavor?
Yeah, just
Well, it's like with Dungeon Defender.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, the
Actually,
perfect
same
example
thing.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think if you looked at if you went and looked at the amount of people, the age range of people backing Dungeon Defender, backing games like Pantheon, backing things like Final Fantasy VII, I think you'd find they're mostly 30 to 40 age range of the people that are really clamoring for that type of thing. I'm okay with it.
So I guess what I'm wondering is that the same thing that when we get expansions to a game that's been out for a really long time, or Final Fantasy 14, and then same iteration of the same game but a new version of the same game, does it play into that nostalgia? Is that the motivation behind it?
I have to make a comment. We never want to reboot a Final Fantasy 14 in its original form.
No
one
I know.
ever want
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. That's actually the I completely forgot about it, but that was the reason that you're actually coming up with this idea. Just before the game was released, there was a fan interview with Yoshi P, the game's director, who said, "Hey, WoW Classic, can we have Final Fantasy 14 1.0 Classic?" And he's like, "No, that's a dumb idea. It would be a nightmare."
That is terrible. No one liked that game.
Yeah.
Reborn, amazing. Original 14 was a dumpster fire.
I'm like 80% sure that they burned the hard drive that had the source code for 1.0 on it, and they wouldn't be able to recreate it even if they wanted to.
Now, a Final Fantasy 11 classic, that might be viable. I could see there being enough of a community to want that, but yeah, no.
I mean, we're getting a 7 remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
to Gigett's question about expansions. Expansions inevitably drastically change a game. And every time that you release an expansion, you split a community to a degree. There are people who like the way it were, and there's people who enjoy the way that it is now. And you're constantly creating a tree. And there's a branch, and then it branches, and then it branches, and you segment communities over time. It's just an inevitable reality of an MMORPG. There are people who love WoW Classic. There are people who have this fantasy in their head about the pinnacle of pinnacle of World of Warcraft being Burning Crusade, Wrath of Lich King. There's also the amount of time of people getting into the game at those expansion points. So there's all these like never-ending variables of like how a game mutates and the fandom happens too. So I think expansions are great for games, but they're also terrible for games at the same time. I think there are more pros than cons to expansions for an MMO because it gives a resurgence of life to a game and it elongates it. But you also
splinter that.
Yeah, you always lose some of the community. They'll play your expansion, don't get me wrong. Most of us that will bitch about, oh god, this expansion looks terrible. How many times have we went back to WoW when we weren't really super excited about Cataclysm?
Right.
But we went ham on it. You know, we still played the hell out of it.
And do you think it was because of nostalgia that made us come back and want to play the expansions? It's like, oh, I love this game, and I will totally play the thing dumpster fire that they put out.
It's like visiting a friend out of town.
Right.
It's like a friend that lives 3 states away and you want to visit them.
Microphone keeps breaking out.
Sorry.
End of line keeps cutting out for me, so I'm not sure what he's talking or not. No, for me with WoW, I play WoW because I'm invested. At this point, I have to buy the newest expansion just because I've been playing since beta. I don't care about World of Warcraft whatsoever. I could not possibly care any less what happens to that game. But when the new expansion is announced, I'm going to pre-order it. I'm going to install it. I'm going to play it for a week and be like, okay, this game still sucks. And then I'm going to be done, and I'm going to put the collector's edition on the shelf with the rest of my collector's editions because that's my personality. I have to collect the collector's editions. But I don't play WoW because I like WoW. I haven't liked WoW for many expansions now.
Welcome to sunk cost fallacy.
Right? Man.
Yeah.
So what is this for you that holds like that nostalgia factor that you keep wanting to come back to it, or you want a remake of it? Like what for you kind of holds that?
Absence. If I've played something and I really liked it and enjoyed it, and I'm done with it and I put it down and I don't touch it for a few years, and then somebody else is like, hey, remember this thing? And it's like, I do remember that thing. That was great. Let's have some more of that. That's why I bought the first class edition of Final Fantasy VII. Because they're remaking it. It looks amazing. I have very fond memories of it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Actually, go ahead.
No, that was it.
It's kind of interesting that kind of train of thought is kind of almost how we've been trained by the modern MMO and games as a service the past 10 years, 20 years, which is, hey, that thing that you like to do, well, there's a little bit more, so why don't you come back for a month and check it out? And you end up in a circumstance like a lot of us were years ago, where we would literally just rotate from game to game to game and then come back to the first one and go through it again. So I lost my train of thought.
No, you're good.
And so it just ends up that's kind of the way it's been for a while, for at least the games as a service methodology.
Right. Well, I know that happens with us where like one of us is bored and goes scrolling through our Steam library or whatever and finds some old random game, starts playing it, and then we see, oh, look, that person's playing that game. I'm going to jump in with them. And then the next thing you know, like, all 6 of us or whatever are all playing the same game that we haven't touched in several years. But one person started like a domino effect of nostalgia for everybody. And then we're like, oh, yeah, let's all do that.
Yeah, I'll be honest. The only thing keeping, and I'm guessing the same is probably for some of you as well, the only thing keeping me away from Minecraft Resurgence is just how much a pain in the ass it is to get it going.
Right. Minecraft is definitely one of those that has that effect where like we see like one or two people are playing and we're like, oh, we should all play it, but then trying to get us all installed running the same mods in the same server is such a pain in the ass that we give up before we actually all get in.
The only thing keeping me from Minecraft is they took down the server that was hosted on that school server that we were using. I tried to log in a few months ago and it was like, nah, it's not there anymore. I was like, all right. Well.
I don't know. That was the thing 10 years ago or 5 years ago. But nowadays, if we were to play a month, I was perfectly cool. It's like, oh, I'll just throw $40 at it.
Right.
You have a powerful enough server.
The problem with Minecraft is we can't all spend the same amount of time or play together. And then we all wake up the next day and Nightson's like,
I've automated the world.
It's about efficiency
modern
of your
age,
time, not about time spent. It's about
Like,
efficiency
man,
of your time.
I sure can't wait to log in and harvest my wheat. What's that across the street? That's a nuclear reactor.
yeah, a nuclear fission reactor. And we have space suits. And I was like, dude, we were literally just learning fire yesterday when I logged on. What the fuck?
Speaking of nostalgia for Minecraft, the kid was super excited maybe last week about something called Minecraft Mondays because they were getting all of the like streamers like that do Fortnite streams. They're getting them back together to go do this Minecraft stream. I don't know. It was like he was trying to explain it to me. There's like a 10 grand prize pool on Fortnite Fridays or whatever, where all these players go play for this big prize pool. And they're doing it on Minecraft Mondays where they're going to have the same prize pool. And he's like, Dad, Ninja was playing. I'm like, that's awesome, dude. But like, he's getting to the point where now he has this nostalgia for Minecraft.
Right.
Because
like, that came out when he was little, and that was like a brand new.
That's going to be his Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Minecraft. His generation's Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
They'll be remaking that shit until the end of time.
Well, Minecraft is kind of perfect for that, though. Because it's so open-ended and open-sourced that you can constantly upgrade the graphics. You can constantly code in new things. Like, it's just it'll evolve itself. There won't be expansions. There won't be a remake. It'll just continue to evolve. Like, I saw recently, like, from a nostalgia standpoint of going back and playing Minecraft, it's been so long. I saw someone made a mod where, like, you could do VR, and it was, like, real 3D, high-res textures. And I was like, dude, that's not the same game at all.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I would love to play Minecraft in VR. It sounds amazing.
It sounds horrifying.
Dude, it makes you
It sounds
It makes
incredible,
you sick
though.
so fast. You get sick so fast playing Minecraft in VR.
Well, I think...
I did. Anyways, I walked up a hill, got to the top, and looked down, almost fell out of my chair. And I was like,
I'll have to give it a try.
Oh man, I cannot imagine playing Minecraft in VR like with the stupid handle things. Like you're just sitting there like this for fucking all day long.
Punching a tree.
Knock the tree down.
Let's jump gears to movies for a second because we've been living in the age of reboots for a while now. It's kind of lost its meme status and just become an acceptable reality.
Yeah.
I saw one when I was researching into this show. I saw one that I thought gave me a chuckle for you guys because I know you love it. But there's actually apparently a Big Trouble in Little China reboot possibly coming this year.
What?
Yeah.
How have I not heard of this?
Yeah. They're talking about doing a remake of Labyrinth, which is a big one.
I heard that.
But yeah, it's kind of become a thing.
Bill and Ted
now.
3 coming out.
Yeah.
Ted 3, like these weird sequels that are just
out of nowhere.
To compound that, it's like Stranger Things is it's distilling our 80s nostalgia.
Right.
Like we have this nostalgia for the neon and the like way things were, but like devoid of any of the reasons why they were that way.
Right.
So there's this like nostalgia for, oh yeah, look at these cool clothes, and they're all garbage, of course. But you're like, yeah, remember scrunchies or whatever.
Hey, don't talk shit about scrunchies. Scrunchies are amazing.
Somebody on
I
Twitter,
almost wore a scrunchie, and then I was like, oh no.
Somebody on Twitter shared a bunch of dudes wearing those like cut off midriff shirts.
Yeah.
And they were like, who's man enough to wear this today or whatever. And it's like all that stuff is sort of like we're at the point where all of the kids of the 80s are having their midlife crises, and so we want all this 80s media back. So there's like She-Ra, and then, the Ninja Turtles are back, and
Masters of the Universe movie remake this year.
He-Man, like,
it's coming out.
Yeah.
It's confirmed.
I would just like to point out that Ninja Turtles never went away.
Yeah, that's
true.
always been.
They've constantly remade it within a
They're
reasonable
bad.
amount of
They
time.
just keep coming.
Yeah. Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal.
They're
That's
making
definitely a
prequel.
remake. Yeah, that's definitely a reboot.
That's a prequel?
It's a prequel. Yeah.
Okay.
And it looks amazing. Like,
It does.
I can't not love it. Like, there's no way I could not want that show.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of cause of it is, though, like back in the 80s and 90s, marketing was targeted towards children because having children convince their parents to buy them things was what drove sales. And now they're finding, no, let's target that 30 to 40 demographic.
Those same kids.
The same kids.
The same damn kids.
But now have
That was
jobs.
in addition to respond to advertising.
Yeah.
Well, they have to target us because kids nowadays don't have money.
Well, they also don't understand how kids work and absorb media anymore.
Yeah, it's too hard to advertise to kids because they consume it in a different way.
And we don't watch TV and have ad blocker now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That is true.
So they're like, I know, nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just keep selling those same 80s kids.
Like, commercials are such a novelty at this point that we will go and watch the Super Bowl commercials online the day after.
Right. Instead of
We haven't seen an actual commercial in 2 years.
Yeah, you go on YouTube and watch Super Bowl commercials with ad block on, so you don't see the ads that YouTube.
while you're watching
Yeah,
ads.
the ads before the ads.
It's like I don't want to see these shitty ads. I want to see the good ads that I
Oh my God.
specifically look for.
We're in
Is your mic off?
the huh?
Is your mic off?
No.
Oh, okay.
We are in the
Gene was saying
future
it sounded
of
like
Demolition Man, where they're listening to the jingles on the radio. Like, oh, I love this one, Plumber Man. Like, yeah, that's our. We've hit the future, guys. We go and watch the ads as entertainment.
I think when you mute your mic, Gigett, is when his audio comes through fine. He's echoing crazy through your mic.
Yeah, that's why when he started talking a bunch, I muted my mic.
Oh man, Gene's telling it like it is. Yeah, this quality is unacceptable.
Gene, we are not moving back to the old house.
That is not an option.
Well, I think it's like kind of going back to the gaming bit, but with phones being as powerful as they are now, and the Nintendo Switch, we're kind of facilitating all of these ROMs or remakes of these age-old games that are now available for $2 on your iPhone.
Yep. I literally beat Final Fantasy VII last night in bed on my Switch.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't participate in that type of culture because I'm a collector and I still own these games on the original cartridges, and I refuse to pay an extra $2 so I could play a game that I have sitting in my
Enjoy
shelf.
it while you last, man, because I'm telling you, in the next 5 to 6 years, there will be no such thing as physical media for gaming.
Sure, there
It
will.
not be
As
a
long
thing.
as oh shit,
Nope.
what's that company that makes physical copies of digital games? There's a company that does that.
DVD burners?
No, no.
Well, Oreztes, are you telling me that you will go fish out your VCR to watch those old VHS tapes that you have lying around, or?
Fuck yeah, bro.
Because I just bought Beverly Hills Cop on Google Play, so I didn't have to fish out the VCR. 'Cause I still have the VHS.
Even though we found our VCR and our copy of Beverly Hills Cop on VHS when we moved, but we did buy it on Google Play.
I will forever keep a working VCR in a box just in case I get the urge to watch Desperado.
You
Well, I
want
think
all my VHS tapes? I got 5 boxes of them.
Well, I think it's funny. Like, I don't really do it much now because I watch very little, just sit and watch TV kind of thing. But previously, I would watch a movie on TV that is badly edited, rather than take the 3 steps to go just grab that movie and put it in and watch it.
Yeah, you're watching it and you're like, that was a weird cut. Isn't there a scene there? I remember there being a scene there. Man, it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't need to go find the Blu-ray for this. It's fine. I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm gonna buy the new Animal Crossing, because I played it on the Wii and I'm excited it's coming out on the Switch, so I'm gonna buy the new one and play it. Not because I'm necessarily excited to play it, but because of the nostalgia of playing the first one. That's what I played before I started playing WoW.
I think the funny thing about nostalgia reboots is that you inevitably have two different people. You have people that are like, no, that's ruining my childhood. You know, you always have those people. And then you have the other people that are like, yeah, it might suck, but I'm just glad something I love is getting attention and they're trying to, like, bring it back to some degree. I'm usually in the latter. I'm never really the it's ruined my childhood. I mean, there's a lot of times I'm like, why? Like, why that, though? You know what I mean? Like, hey, let's bring back the A-Team. Why?
Right.
Why the A-Team?
Are the ones that were good because of the actor or the actress? Like,
yeah. There's no substance there otherwise.
If you reboot Labyrinth, like, how you're not going to get another David Bowie. Like, whose dick are you going to shove in those tights? Like, what the hell?
The Labyrinth is something that you don't do as a reboot. You make something new in the universe.
Yeah.
Like, you make something in the Labyrinth that's not Jareth, or it is Jareth, but Jareth's not the character in the show. Like, it's Hoggle, and it's him doing other things. Like, doing a straight one-to-one reboot is generally a mistake for something like that, where David Bowie was Labyrinth. Like, he was.
I think the remakes or the reboots or the I don't know, next iteration of something that we loved that does well is when it's something that the technology wasn't good enough in the 80s or 90s when it was made the first time, or this, you know, whatever. And so they're redoing it because now we have better, you know, film technology to actually make that movie good, where before you were like, oh, it was such a good story, but the CGI was so bad, or the practical effects just didn't cover whatever that should have been, or, you know, whatever. So when they do remake it, some, you know, not all movies, some of them they ruin them by changing live practical effects to CGI, but oftentimes it's like, oh, I'm so glad they remade that because it's so much better now because of the effects they were able to do.
The first thing that comes to mind when I hear that, Gigett, is the Tron reboot. I absolutely loved the new movie. I loved the soundtrack. I loved the aesthetic. I thought the storyline was awesome. That was a movie where it's kind of like, okay, how did they do what they did in the 80s? I mean, that was mind-blowing what they were able to accomplish with practical effects to simulate that stuff. Sure. But, like, it's like, we have technology now, and it's Tron. It's about technology. Like, how are they going to do it? And I thought they killed it. But movies like that, yeah, I would love to see them do more things with a movie now. They're talking about doing a Mortal Kombat movie now. You know, it's like, wow, with the special effects we have now, they might be able to actually really emulate video games like gore and
yeah,
special
they can make
stuff
it look
like
great.
that.
It's not going to fix the writing.
Yeah, that's true. Well, no. It will fix the writing. If you've played Mortal Kombat 9, 10, and the new one, the storyline is absolutely incredible. Super freaking good. Dude, you could go watch the cutscenes stringed along. They have YouTube videos of people that just cut the actual story. It's a movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I've watched those.
Yeah, it's a legit good movie. I would go see that in a theater. I would. And I'd enjoy it.
I think we're on Gilgamesh.
Yeah, Gilgamesh. Dude.
On the Aether, it's full. It's
good luck getting into it.
Yeah. So
you can visit shards. It's okay. No.
I linked in chat there. It's called Limited Run Games, and what those guys do is they take like digital games and they create physical versions and limited runs. So as long as people like me exist, these guys will always have a customer base. Like they're doing Psychonauts, Power Rangers, the new digital Power Rangers game. They have a bundle right now of all the Star Wars Bounty Hunter games.
So my question is, why would you want that?
Because I'm a collector and I need physical product.
But you're not collecting something original. You're collecting something a third-party company is just burning on a DVD and sticking some artwork on it and putting it in a box and taking your money.
No, look, okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just linked. They're doing a Star Wars release. I just linked it there in chat. Look at that and tell me that is not freaking cool. They took the Nintendo Star Wars game, put it on a special edition cart, Nintendo cart that legit works on your old NES, and they put it on the Star Wars action figure blister card.
That's pretty cool.
That is crazy awesome. Who would not love to have that? That appeals to two demographics: video game collectors and Star Wars nerds.
Yeah. It is cool. I have no issues with collecting and stuff like that. It's just the days of that being available is over almost.
I could see it being useful for someone like Handor who has shit internet. And you're like, yeah, I totally want this game, but the digital content download is going to take me a month to do. So let me just buy this this game from these physical people, put it in my computer, and now I don't have to download shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I'll be honest, these. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's part of my nostalgia is like collecting, because when I was little, I had video games. I had my stack of games. That's what I turned to for comfort, because I did not have a lot of friends because I hate people, as some of you may know. So yeah, I like collecting. I like having physical games that I could look at and have up on the shelf and admire. Like, I remember that game. I remember playing that.
You know what? I get that though, because I'm that way with books. You know, everyone's like, "Oh, get digital books," blah blah blah. I want physical books. I love holding books in my hand and reading books, and I like having, when I'm done with it, my shelves full of all the books I've read. Like I love the feeling of that, and so it I think it's that same, like, I want this physical thing. I don't want just the digital content for it.
I agree with you 100% on the books, but I'm super enjoying the HD remakes and reboots of things, allowing me to rebuy things in my Steam library of games and then throw away that physical media, because I do not want that taking up space anymore.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm kind of a minimalist when it comes to my living space. I don't like a lot of clutter, and I keep all my old EverQuest boxes. Like, I can't throw them out, and I mean, I probably should, but I just can't. But it's like, yeah, they take up like an entire shelf just by themselves, because I have like 18 expansions of EverQuest 1 boxes. But like, I look at it, it's like, I couldn't imagine doing that for like everything. Like, there's just no way.
Right.
Just before we went live, I went and bought, because I only found out about this last week, but Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition for $4 on Steam. I'm going to go throw that away when we're done here, because I no longer need to hold on to it.
Oh, that's funny.
I still have my Neverwinter Nights Diamond Edition and Kingmaker boxes in a box in storage.
Yep.
Because I can't throw away physical copies.
Technically, I still have the CD for Death Rally that I bought for Windows 95.
Yeah.
Even though I own the remake on Steam.
And you will never be able to run that CD ever again.
Oh no, it still works. I forget. There's a way to make it run.
I
played it.
I have my Doom 2 Windows 95 CD.
I have Doom 2 as well. Mine are on floppy though.
Yeah.
I threw away all my floppies.
I have the floppy for Doom 2 and
I draw the line
and King's Quest 5. Those are the two oldest things I have.
King's Quest 5. Yeah,
that was on CD.
Have to have that. My only fear with going like completely digital is that ultimately my purchases are controlled by someone else. So like, if I do something dumb and get banned on Steam, or if my Steam account gets taken away or lost or hacked or something and I can't recover it, all of that is gone forever.
That's true. Well, my annoyance with digital media is that my digital media I've purchased is in 18 different places. That's what's driving me crazy about it.
Fuck you, Epic. That's all.
Have you seen
Epic and Ubi and Steam?
Have you seen the
Origins?
The GOG launcher?
Yeah.
GOG has made a consolidated launcher. I mean, you still have to log into everything, but it puts everything in one spot.
Yeah, Galaxy. Yep, it's really nice.
So
Nice.
I have way more stuff. I have more game purchases on good old GOG than I do on Steam right now. With all my King's Quest games, all my Sierra stuff. I bought all the Tex Murphy games. Like, yeah, I went kind of crazy one day, and they had a huge sale, and I bought every childhood game I ever played and loved. And like a single day.
Somebody had a Twitter thread recently about what's the first game that made you fall in love with video games, and it was like, don't read the comments, and so I was like, oh, Excitebike, obviously. It was the thing that I put in, because it was the first game that let you edit a map.
Yeah, you could build your own.
And I was like,
tracks.
This is amazing. I can add like that. Like spoke to something in me that I could like edit the game itself from the console.
And then you played Sims and built your own houses for hours.
Oh my god, I would build houses for hours.
Let me ask everyone a question. Go ahead, Oreztes, and I'll ask after.
I was gonna say, did you never play Doom and build your own maps, like build your wads?
Yep, wad
Just
builder.
Like saying wads.
Mhm.
I always thought this was a funny name for a map file.
So we've got to wrap this up, but I want to ask one question really quickly. Flash question. If you had a childhood nostalgic thing that you would like to see rebooted in current day and time that hasn't happened, what would it be? Kurt. It could be a game,
Childhood
a movie,
nostalgia.
a series,
Go first.
anything. It could be absolutely anything that you would like to see rebooted.
Pass. Come back to me.
Okay. Nightson.
I'll be honest, I just got it. Like, I would have said Baldur's Gate, and that's literally being remade.
Yeah.
Or, like, a sequel's coming out. So...
And it looks amazing.
It
Yeah.
does. It looks absolutely incredible. It will be, too. The team
I'm
making
gonna
that,
say-
I have zero fear it will be amazing with that company,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the Wuzzles.
The Wuzzles.
And probably nobody knows what that is.
Oh, I know exactly what the
Wuzzles.
Wuzzles are.
The Wuzzles were amazing.
Wuzzles
Like
and
Bumble
shirt
Lion
tails and
and-
all those shirts at the same time. What about you, Gidget?
Oh man. God, that's such a hard question.
Yeah.
It's weird because they've remade so much shit.
They have.
that I can't think of something that hasn't already been remade.
One
Like
of the
all my childhood loves, like all the things that I
Yeah.
loved as a kid, that they're all back again.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I was thinking of earlier was Castlevania Symphony of the Night and how much I love that one. And then they just came out with Bloodstained.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know that I'll be. Have you watched it though?
yeah,
It's not really. It's not really a remake of Symphony. It's pretty dramatically different. It looks amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm totally buying it on Switch, but I'm just saying. I don't know that I would say that that's a real remake.
Well, what would yours be, Endo?
Well, I'm getting mine, and I mean, I'm going to cheat, but Pantheon's definitely mine. I've always wanted a modernized EverQuest. EverQuest 2 was not modernized EverQuest 1. It was its own complete game. I definitely always wanted a really spiritual successor to the first EverQuest. And I'm really hoping that Pantheon is that. So, for me, that's totally it.
I think it's funny because I always loved driving games. That was when I was a kid. Those were the games that really caught my eye, and like things like Death Rally, Off-Road 2, or Off-Road, and all those. So if someone wants to deliver a cabinet of Off-Road and
I
all
would-
that shit to my house, I will take it.
Let me ask you a question. Would you like to see a 3D remake of a merge of Twisted Metal and RC Pro-Am? I think that would be an amazing game.
Wait,
You know what? I would love an updated Twisted Metal, but it would have to be Rob Zombie. Like I can't play Twisted Metal without Dragula banging in the background.
how have we not had Twisted Metal game in how long?
They had Twisted Metal
There
Black.
was a PS3.
Yeah,
There was
Twisted
a
Metal
PS3.
Black for PlayStation 3, and it
Well,
did
that's what I
pretty
mean.
well.
It's been like five years.
Yeah, it is surprising considering that title did, I think, fairly well.
That
But I'm
was one
talking
of the-
about-
that was one of the PlayStation titles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The closest
But
thing
yeah,
to
like
Twisted
Twisted
Metal
Metal
RC Pro-Am
Speed.
is Mario Kart. I mean, that's
All those Need for
essentially-
Speeds were really good. Mario Kart.
I mean, it is Twisted Metal on a track, really.
That's
oh my
true.
god, that is so amazing. Mario.
Mario Kart is QT Twisted Metal.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well, before we wrap things up here, does anybody have any final thoughts? All right.
I think nostalgia is fine. People are going to do it for the wrong reasons, but I think it's better to have something be at least brought to the forefront again, rather than just being left in the dark and dead. I know most people would rather see their childhood things left alone, but I think
Yeah.
a lot of people are kind of cool with it. They're kind of okay.
Well, it gives them the opportunities. Like, well, the was better. We'll go check out the original. And
Yeah. Right.
now this new user has an opportunity to explore this world and all that. Plus,
Yeah.
there's always cases of people doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I think that's why for me it's hard to pick something that I would want to get remade, because I actually really enjoy things that feel nostalgic, staying in the past, and going back and revisiting that original thing and feeling the feeling I felt when I watched that thing the first time, rather than seeing a remake or a reboot or whatever. Like the original is what creates those feelings for me, and so that's the thing I would want to watch.
Gidget wants a remake of Savage Worlds. Oh wait.
Oh wait, we already got that.
Please no. Don't do that.
Well, cool. Hey, Kurt, where can people find us on the internet?
People can find us all over the internet, Gidget. They can go to pixelscandal.com where they can find back episodes of the show. They can find links to our social media accounts, which are Twitter at pixelscandal, Instagram at pixelscandal, and Facebook at pixelscandal show. They can find links to our YouTube channel where they can subscribe and get notifications when our videos get posted over there on YouTube. They can find links to our Twitch where they can watch live, like some are doing right now. Comment in the chat, and we'll shout you out on the show. Yeah, Gene. And you can subscribe if you'd like to support the show. You can also, we have a Patreon if you want to drop us a couple bucks a month. We will, we'll get you some cool content. We've got some behind the scenes content up there. So if that's something you're into, head over there to patreon.com/pixelscan. And that's it.
All right, great. Well, we will see you next week. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.